Have you ever wondered how a single mistake could change the course of history? Sometimes, one wrong decision, a simple miscalculation, or even an accident can reshape an entire nation. Today, we'll explore some of the biggest mistakes in American history, decisions that led to unexpected consequences. Make sure to watch till the end, because some of these stories will completely shock you. History is full of examples where a small oversight led to massive change. One of the most famous mistakes in American history was the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Legend has it that a cow belonging to Mrs. O'Leary kicked over a lantern, igniting a fire that burned for 2 days and destroyed over 17,000 buildings. While historians now believe the cow story was a myth, the fire itself was very real. This disaster forced Chicago to rethink its entire city planning, leading to the rise of the first modern skyscrapers. Speaking of devastating fires, did you know that the Library of Congress was once burned down? In 1814, during the War of 1812, British forces stormed Washington, D.C. and set fire to several government buildings, including the Capitol. Thousands of priceless books and documents were lost forever. As a result, the U.S. had to rebuild its national library from scratch, eventually leading to one of the largest and most advanced libraries in the world today. Another historic blunder? The purchase of Alaska. In 1867, U.S. Secretary of State William Seward arranged to buy Alaska from Russia for just $7.2 million. At the time, people mocked the deal, calling it Seward's folly, because they believed Alaska was a frozen wasteland with no value. But decades later, the discovery of gold and oil proved this to be one of the smartest investments in American history. The stock market crash of 1929 is another example of how a series of bad decisions can lead to disaster. During the Roaring '20s, people were investing recklessly in the stock market, believing it would never collapse. When the market did crash, it triggered the Great Depression, a decade-long economic disaster that left millions unemployed and homeless. The lesson? Overconfidence and lack of regulation can have severe consequences. Here's a mistake that still affects America today. The Prohibition era. In 1920, the U.S. government banned alcohol, hoping to reduce crime and improve society. Instead, it created a booming black market for alcohol, empowering organized crime and figures like Al Capone. By the time Prohibition was repealed in 1933, the damage had already been done. Sometimes, mistakes happen in war. During World War II, the U.S. military made a near-catastrophic error known as the Battle of Midway. In the early days of the war, Japan had the upper hand in the Pacific. However, American codebreakers intercepted Japanese plans and set a trap. Despite initial mistakes in battle planning, the U.S. managed to turn the tide, delivering a crushing blow to the Japanese Navy. Speaking of wars, have you ever heard about the Bay of Pigs invasion? In 1961, the U.S. tried to overthrow Cuba's communist leader, Fidel Castro, by sending a group of Cuban exiles to invade. The invasion was poorly planned, and within days, the attackers were defeated. This embarrassing failure strengthened Castro's position and pushed Cuba closer to the Soviet Union, leading to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Let's talk about space. In 1999, NASA lost a $125 million Mars orbiter because of a simple math mistake. One team used metric measurements while another used imperial units. This miscalculation caused the spacecraft to crash instead of entering Mars orbit. Even the smartest minds can make costly errors. One of the most famous political mistakes in American history was the Watergate scandal. In 1972, members of President Richard Nixon's team were caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters to spy on opponents. The cover-up attempt only made things worse, leading to Nixon's resignation. This scandal changed how Americans viewed their leaders forever. Mistakes aren't always bad. Sometimes they lead to incredible discoveries. Did you know that the invention of the microwave oven was an accident? In 1945, engineer Percy Spencer noticed that a candy bar in his pocket melted while he was testing radar equipment. This led to the development of the first microwave oven, which revolutionized cooking. Another accidental discovery? Penicillin. In 1928, Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming left a petri dish out by mistake, only to find that bacteria had been killed by a strange mold. This discovery led to the creation of antibiotics, saving millions of lives worldwide, including in the U.S. during World War II. Even America's founding documents weren't immune to errors. When the Constitution was first drafted, it didn't include the Bill of Rights. Many people were outraged, believing their freedoms weren't protected. It took fierce debate to add these crucial amendments, which now form the foundation of American democracy. Mistakes in history show us that failure isn't always the end. It can be the beginning of something greater. Every setback teaches a lesson, and every error has the potential to reshape the world in unexpected ways. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If we reach 50 likes, I'll make a video about the most bizarre mistakes in history that led to unexpected success. See you in the next video.